Good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday, and this is Roman Shersher, your number one online resource for buying property, with your weekly update, your market update. And I'm going to go over a lot of really cool information. I hope that this video is not one of our longer ones, but there's a lot of good info to go over. Please remember, if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button so it helps me keep creating content and videos just like this. On average, our videos get about 150 to 250 views per week. So that's getting larger, and I appreciate you all spending the time and getting the information. Remember, I give you raw data. I'm not giving you much opinion. If I give you my opinion, you'll know that it's my opinion. I'm using raw data that's given to us by the various data sources in the state of California, California Association of Realtors, news articles, giving you raw, real-time information on what's happening in the real estate market in Southern California. Our current projects, we have 3 new homes that just came to market in Jacksonville. We have 2 more in the works. We have a project that's finally going to go live in about 2 weeks. We've been working on this project for almost 7 months. One of the largest renovations that I've ever done, one of them. Second largest, actually, ever. We have a new one that's undergoing work in Northridge, so that'll be coming to market hopefully about a week and a half, and then we're purchasing one in Lake Balboa next month. If you know anybody that's looking for units like this or properties like this, please send them our way. We have 2 properties that just went into escrow, one in Northridge on a street called Rubio. We had 6 offers, all over ask, within the first weekend. And that's how we market our properties. And another one we just had go in over ask in Studio City as well. So excited to get those transactions finished up. All right. Please remember, to anyone watching on Instagram, be sure you head over to Facebook or YouTube after this to check out the links and to the slides and the content that I'm about to go over today. We got a lot of cool stuff to go over. Let's get rolling. All right, here's the latest market information. So I've mentioned this many times before. Last year was the slowest year in terms of quantity of sales in 30 years. People have said, oh, there's so much inventory coming to market now. This year's going to be so much better. The prices will go down. Yeah, let's talk about that. So existing single-family homes totaled 275,540 in April. On a seasonally adjusted rate. So it's up 3% from last year. We were anemic. It was the worst year on record in 30 years. We're only up 3% in quantity of sales in March. And we're up 4.4%, 263,960 since April 2023. Okay, so in March, up 3%. In April, we're up 4.4%. This is still tiny numbers. When you go down so low on an adjusted basis, and then you come up a little bit, 3%, 4%, you're not really doing much. Year-to-date statewide home sales, we're up just 1.6%, which is what's keeping our inventory very tight. Okay, our unsold inventory index, so it talks about how many months of inventory we have on the market. We're flat at like 2.6 months. 2.5 months was in April of last year. So we're just a tiny bit looser than we were last year. It's not really helping significantly. All right. And that has led to our home prices just reaching their all-time high. In California, our median price went from $811,510 across the state to $904,000 as a median price, 11.4% increase. Look at Los Angeles Metro. We went from $740,000 median price last year to $840,000 this year, up 13.5%. Our properties have gone up 13.5% in the last year because of no inventory, still high demand, despite the high interest rates. This is not going to change. All right. I've been getting a lot of questions. What's happening with this NAR, the realtor lawsuit? It's gonna completely demolish realtors and commissions, right? Everything's going to get much less expensive. Let me tell you how this is really shaking up right now. So what's happening now is that the MLS is no longer allowed to offer buyer commissions, okay? You're no longer allowed to demand that the seller pay for the buyer's agent's commission. And this is shaking out to work this way. So the MLS recently put out, well, actually just yesterday, new fields for listing input called concessions. So 40% of all transactions in the last year have had some kind of concessions, whether the seller was giving the buyer a credit for whatever purpose to help pay down their mortgage. There's point buy downs that have been very popular because interest rates are so high. So for the first couple of years, these interest rates don't kill the buyer. And so the seller has been providing those to the buyer. Typically, the seller has provided buyer commissions in the past. Now, you're no longer, after this lawsuit settlement, you're no longer going to be able to do that. So what they're doing now is putting a new field into the MLS called concessions in price, which will allow the seller to offer a concession to the buyer for their agent's commission at the seller's discretion. Now, buyers are coming in, and especially first-time home buyers, it's so expensive to right now buy a house. The down payment on $1 million home is $100,000, $200,000, plus all the closing costs. Plus now what this lawsuit has done is in effect shifted the onus of paying that commission to the buyer's side, which makes it harder for them to qualify and harder for them to buy the property. My opinion, and what I'm hearing all of the attorneys associated with realtors, California Association of Realtors, California MLS, National Association of Realtors, is that this same commission is going to be paid by the seller, offered through commissions in concessions and price. Okay, that's what we're seeing, is that the sellers are not going to are still offering. They're still offering that commission assistance through a concession in price. So instead of calling it a buyer side commission, it's now going to be called a buyer side agent concession. That's how it's shaken up. Now, the question really was at the beginning, if this is going to be how this shakes up, are the lenders going to allow it? Because VA and FHA have VA doesn't allow that at all, has not allowed that at all in the past, concessions for the commission on the buy side from the seller. And FHA has certain limits on that. So now, as of this last week, VA has temporarily suspended the buyer agent payment ban. So now VA loans are also going to be allowed for the sellers, are also going to be allowed to accept that concession from the sellers to pay for that agent commission. So that's how this is really shaken up. Just yesterday, they came out with the fields in the MLS progress. And every week, every month, we're getting more updates and more education on how the proper path is going to be going forward on the commission side. All right, let's take a look at our mortgage news. So the mortgage rate went 2 weeks ago was at 7.08%. It's now risen to 7.17. This is really funny. Just today, earlier when I was preparing, this was at 7.29. So it's reduced 12 basis points in just a couple of hours. The 15-year fixed was 6.57. It's now 6.7. The 30-year jumbo was 7.38. It's now 7.45. FHA and VA went from 6.57 to 6.75 and 6.77% respectively. All right. Your quote of the day is by an author. Her name is Yvonne Woon, award-winning author. Her quote is that sometimes you have to look back in order to understand the things that lie ahead. Reminds me of the other quote that if you don't know the history, it's bound to repeat itself. So always understand where you came from. It will help lead you to where you're going. All right, remember, check out the links in the content on my Facebook or YouTube page. And if you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button so I know to keep creating content and videos just like this. This is Roman Shersher, your #1 online resource for buying and selling property. Wishing you a happy